Hi, everybody, and nice to meet you. Thank you for joining this session. Even if it's on demand, we appreciate that you got some interest on our university, Bocconi University. My name is Ricardo David Battaglia. I'm currently an employee of Bocconi, but super proud alumnus of the school. I attended both the bachelor's as well as the master in Bocconi, then been doing mostly everything related to innovation before coming back to my alma mater, and now approaching a new chapter of my life. But really, before leaving, I wanted to give this very last presentation, joined by someone who has a similar strange kind of background that is something you might expect to get through Bocconi, unless you want something more traditional. Before actually leaving the floor to the people who will try to inspire you and telling you their experiences in the school, I always use a couple of slides in order to tell you a bit better what you might expect about Bocconi. Totally fine if you haven't heard from us yet, because otherwise you shouldn't need any video. The very first thing I always say, mostly because I'm Italian and I'm from the city where the university is located, is that Bocconi is a super international school located in the Italian capital for fashion as well as for finance, that is Milan, so in the north of Italy. It's a good combination of location as well as opportunities, because do never forget, if you are going abroad for the first time or if you are passionate with traveling, that traveling and having different experience is going to be something very important and on top of whatever kind of university experience you're going to expect. And for instance, Milan, it's super convenient because in a normal kind of setting, you would be able to travel quite a lot to many different countries. European countries are super close by. I think about London as well as Paris. You can reach them in less than 2 hours. So do never forget anytime you approach a school also about the experience you can do around the country, but also within the country. The good and convenient situation in Bocconi is that we are located downtown, so in the city center, so 10 minutes you are in the canal, Battaglia, and 10 minutes you are to the dome, so our cathedral. You can imagine that having a urban campus gives you the opportunity to open a bit your mind outside of the traditional university commitment. If you get bored about the lectures, it's super fine to get outside of this kind of university comfort zone. And this is something you need to think about when you are applying, because if you are thinking about some very fancy university in the middle of nowhere with all the facilities, Bocconi doesn't make for you, because basically you have all the facilities but located in the country, in the city specifically. And this is something that our international students always appreciate, because you really have the opportunity to learn from people who are not necessarily from the university and the school. Second important thing is that once you are approaching a school, once you're approaching a university, you should try and understand the quality. Of course, the best thing to do is to ask to current students or to former students. But if you want to do some homeworks in advance, have a look at some rankings. You see here some of ours. I won't go deeply through them because they are peculiar. So for instance, if you see Financial Times, it only ranks some specific courses. But if you are interested in marketing, it doesn't mean that we are not good in marketing, for instance, but it's simply the kind of topics Financial Times ranks. For instance, we always rely on QS that has more on different subject areas, so maybe have also a look at them. But then there are tons of rankings outside. I always say if a school tells you that rankings are not important, either they are performing very poorly on them or they are not there. Rankings are done by people who know the metrics and know the elements that the student might be interested in. On the other side, if something is more important for you, study the methodology behind. Maybe for you, the faculty is more important than the salary later on, or the degree of international people inside is significant over the ratio between international as well as national faculty. So there are so many key aspects in rankings that you don't know maybe in advance. This being said, maybe you tell me, Ricardo, Bocconi University in Italy, I don't know. Then I think that both Cleman and Dina can tell you better because they are alumni and they were coming from different countries. So maybe it's something they have gone through their experience once they were either in the high school or in another bachelor university. Have a look at the networks of the uni. Maybe you know better schools in the US, in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, everywhere. If a school has accepted another one as a partner, it means that the quality is at least comparable. You see, Bocconi has more than 280 partner schools, really everywhere in the world. Do your research in that. Something that we are super proud of is that you can normally spend an exchange, both in your bachelor's as well as in master, or to go and take another master during your master's science degree. Last but not the least, I might believe that any of us, once we were looking at the universities, we were thinking about what happens next. So of course you are going to either pay much money or to receive scholarships for studying, and you're going to invest 1, 2, 3 years of your life, maybe 5 if you attend both a bachelor's and master's, in a university in order to get the best careers opportunity later on. Believe me, no university will call you and tell you, okay, tomorrow you begin your internship. Otherwise, I mean, you haven't even gone through what happens in real life. You need to show your commitment. You need to go and network. Networking is a keyword that Bocconi people use on average 3-4 times per day. You need really to understand that once you start working, once you start approaching a company, you need to show your commitment. So go to the events, talk to people, talk to your career advisors. And this is something that in Bocconi is super strong. You have career fairs inside the uni as well as around the world. You have the job portal that is called JobGate, where you only compete with Bocconi students. You have sectorial events beside the very famous in finance. You have in marketing, luxury, and so on. So really, believe me, have a look at the placement later on. There is a tool you can approach everywhere in the world, besides some VPN need, let's say in some countries. Have a look at LinkedIn. If you portray to yourself in a future career and you find some alumni from a school, you might check out what they did to understand if the quality of the networking they were put it inside within the uni was effective or not. But given that I believe I've already talked too much, let me pass the floor to the first two of our alumni. So first of all, I would like to thank all of them to joining us today. We are going to be 4, including me, but talking only 3. You will see both Dina and Dario, who are going to talk first, and then the floor will be left to Clement. Maximilian couldn't make it because, you know, also a good thing about being very well employed everywhere in the world is that you might need to work long hours. So he couldn't make it for today, but as you see in the slide, he was very available, and he told me, Ricardo, tell the guys in case they have some questions about my background, just reach him through LinkedIn, maybe mention that you were put in touch indirectly, let's say, through us. So Dina, thank you for joining, and please take the floor and share a bit your experience, what you were exposed to Bocconi, besides, I would say, love, if I can do this spoiler alert, and thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot, Ricardo. And yes, hi everyone, or as in Italy we would say ciao ragazzi. Great talking to you today. I'm Dina, and I'm very happy to share with you my experiences about Bocconi and also my time in Italy today. So about maybe a little bit about myself. I'm coming from Germany. Maybe you can hear it from my accent. I attended the Master of Science in Economics and Management of Innovation and Technology, a very long title. We all shorten it up to EMIT. And I started my studies back in 2012 and graduated in 2014. So why did I choose Bocconi? First of all, it's a university which has a very great academic reputation, which was personally for me very important. I then also was interested into studies which was going particular into entrepreneurship and innovation. So I was looking for a course which would give me knowledge around this topic and expertise in this. So combining these two things of having a great reputation and having exactly this course, it was a very quick and easy decision to go with Bocconi and study there. Another reason was also then that I wanted not to stay in Germany. I wanted to go abroad and get international experience. So I was very happy to go to Italy. And you might ask me now, why Italy? Italy is, of course, like on everybody's maps, I think, with all the beautiful sites you can see from Milan, Rome, Florence, and so on. So you could endlessly continue this list. But it's also around the people, the food, the lifestyle, and Milan itself. So as a city, it's a wonderful city to live in, which gives you lots of different opportunities from like what you can do in the city, different events, different restaurants, bars, to enjoy your time when you're not studying, because of course studying is not only like focusing and study, but it's also about enjoying a bit your life. And with this, Bocconi combines it very greatly by giving you all the necessary background in studies, plus the nice things in life together. So after this, let's also tell a bit more about what happened after Bocconi. I followed my entrepreneurial idea and followed my entrepreneurial journey by setting a boutique hotel in Germany, which I was then having a successful exit. And with this, I then moved into working for venture capital in Germany for a time. And after this, I wanted to get more involved into projects, not just evaluating startups and seeing the investor perspective. I moved to a boutique consultancy specializing in innovation and user experience. I started back in Munich, and after some time, the company asked me to whether I want to move to Singapore to build the business department here for them. So it was a quite easy decision to do, and that's how I ended up here in Singapore. Very happy about the whole involvement of my journey, and I do really looking forward also what is expecting me on this innovation track in the future. So maybe quickly looking back, what would be the reasons why I recommend Bocconi to you? It's first of all the excellent academic curriculum which the university is offering. It's a great mixture between theory and hands-on practical knowledge, which is, I think, nowadays very important, that we don't only focus on practical or only on theory, but actually combining both worlds together. It's also about studying with great people together. So thanks to the great selection process of Bocconi, you actually study with great mindset, with great people, which allow you to grow also on your own even a bit more. And taking into account that you will not only study and sit in the classroom, but you will also do group works and so on. That's definitely something what I can highlight. Another thing would be the job opportunities in Europe, but also abroad. In the rest of the world, as you can see, we are all scattered around. That you have lots of opportunities after finishing Bocconi, from going, like if you're like me and Emmett, like ending innovation companies like Microsoft, Google, or like consultancies like I am right now. Another thing is the great lifestyle. So don't forget, you're in Italy, and as I mentioned before, you have great food, great people, great like sightseeing possibilities there. And yeah, it's also lots of fun to, in general, work or study there. So that's from my side. I hope I could give you a bit of insights about the journey and studies in Bocconi. And with this, I would hand over to Dario, who will tell you a bit more. Thanks a lot.
Hello, everyone. I guess you can see me now and hear me clearly, hopefully. So welcome whomever is connected right now and is watching this video. And thanks, Dina, for passing the word to me. The spoiler alert that Davide was doing is actually the fact that Dina and myself found love in Bocconi, and actually Dina is my wife, is actually in the other room right now. That's a fun story that we wanted to share with you. Go straight to the point. So I'm Dario. I come from a small town in south of Italy. And I attended both bachelor and master in Bocconi. In bachelor, I was actually attending the economics and social science, and in the master, I was attending the same master of Dina, that is the economics and management of innovation and technology. When someone, let's say it's in high school or after bachelor, but especially high school, is young and is really evaluating different paths for his life or her life. Actually, they have many interests. But what I was like, why I chose Bocconi at the first place, I got actually an insider tips because my sister, that is older, also attended Bocconi on the legal side, the legal courses. And I had an insider sneak peek on what was really happening in Bocconi. So I was actually really interested in the economics and international institution paths. I saw the huge international opportunities that Bocconi was offering in terms of exchanges, campus abroad, internship all over the world. So I was really keen on those opportunities. And I was really interested also on these challenging people. Like the level of people that you would meet in Bocconi is actually quite high, and it's quite a nice perk on, let's say, have such a great minds in most of the cases, of course, with you that become lifelong friends. So I did that. I did an exchange in UC Berkeley when I was studying in my bachelor. I changed a little bit my path, and I really wanted then from international institution and economics, kind of all the research heavy topics, to move more towards the startup, venture capital, innovation, all this kind of field. And I saw that this AMIT course, the course that I attended in my master, was perfect. It was perfectly matching what I really wanted to do. So I attended that course. I did another exchange in Tokyo. I did an internship in New York. And then after university, actually, very nice story. I was like actually some friends of mine started a company, what is now basically Foodora if you're in Europe, but let's say the cousin of Food Panda here in Southeast Asia. It was very fun to start, with the founding team. Then instead of then moving and setting up in Milan, I actually went to work from top management consulting firms like Strategian and Bain & Company. I left to find my own company on the side and to join Microsoft. So another shift in the career from startup to management consulting to tech. And there I was actually setting up all the consumer analytics, BI and analytics for Western Europe and EMEA. And following my love, that got this opportunity to come to Singapore around 2 years ago, then we actually I actually moved, and I got this great opportunity in Adidas in Southeast Asia to follow up all the e-commerce for Southeast Asia, from projects, rollouts, innovation perspective, but also all the BI and analytics for all Southeast Asia e-com. So quite challenging, quite a ride. We are now in Southeast Asia, and if I really have to think and suggest you why you should choose Bocconi, just to summarize it, is if you want excellence in finance, economics, management topic, then that is the school to go. As Ricardo was sharing at the beginning, just go and just find the rankings. It's really one of the top universities in the world, and it's really growing. It's skyrocketing. From when I started in 2009, it's just climbing up the rankings. So that is an amazing like standing and reputation that you will have. The amazing people that you will find, as I was saying at the beginning, the level of the people is quite high and quite challenging. Third, it would be the international exposure. So I really trained Bocconi in that sense of going all over around the world, internship exchanges. It's really like you really breathe an internal environment there. Fourth would be the professors' understanding that they would have connected to the job opportunities. So what I did, as you can also see, you can add me on LinkedIn, of course, if you have other questions, but you will see how I let's say, join different industries and really growing fast in a sense. And this is really something that the university teaches. The university gives the tool and really pushes you in your career. So that's great. Another very interesting part would be the alumni network, and this is one of the really nice perks of Bocconi, that is really investing in their alumni around the world. And you can really feel that wherever you go, there is all the time Bocconi alumni in top positions where you can really push for networking. It's really amazing. And out of these 5 things that I said, the 6th and maybe the most important one would be the fun. Like studying in Milan is just really fun itself as a city, because you're in Italy. Of course, I'm Italian. I'm pushing for it. But as like in Milan and in Bocconi, there's like the people and the experience is just fun and really amazing. So with this very nice advertising to Bocconi, I really invite you to join our community and join and being an alumni in a couple of years. I give the word to Clément, and yeah.
Thank you. Can you see me? Yes. Thank you, Dario, for the message, and thanks both for the presentation. I think you said quite a bit already, so I'll try to be a bit different. So my name is Clément. As you could hear from my name, I'm French. Actually French-American, so I grew up in New York before moving to France. And then, of course, as you know, I've decided to join Bocconi in 2012, and I finished in 2015. So I was in the international management, business and finance bachelor. And after finishing in 2015, I actually moved directly in Asia. So I started off in Vietnam, where I was working for a distributor of Danone being a big water company and FMCG. And I was setting up their business in the water distribution in Vietnam, based in Ho Chi Minh. And after this, I decided to move to Singapore. And I've been here now for about 4 years and a half. I started off in e-commerce for Luxottica, so an Italian company. They're the one producing glasses for Ray-Ban and Oakley. And I was in charge of setting up the whole e-commerce business in Southeast Asia. And then from there, I moved to Estée Lauder, so a New York-based company in cosmetics, to lead 3 brands for them across Southeast Asia, again, still in e-commerce. So why did I choose to go to Bocconi? A big part of it was being an international school. And I know you've heard that many times, but this plays really an important role, at least in my decision-making. I was used to living abroad all my life, being in an environment where people spoke different languages than mine. And so I wanted that richness again, because I find that this is where you're being challenged and being pushed to open, your mindset, to, willing to accept different point of views. And so when I was having the choice of staying in France or going to Italy, this was one of the key decision-making factors for me. And I can't really stress that enough. In your class, you'll have people from everywhere, of course, mainly European countries, but still very broad backgrounds, people coming from different walks of life, having done different things, which is really enriching, and it's really helping you, especially when you do all these projects, these group projects. It will push you. Of course, another reason, of course, is the CV, let's say, of the school. they've said it 1,000 times, but it's some of the best European school with the best bachelor's and master's you can get. The level of the teachers is really top notch. Even the speakers they get, and this is something that's really highly recommended when you're there, is to try to attend to some of the lectures from outside speakers. And these has been really, really great ones. That's been very memorable for me. The other reason as well is the flexibility Bocconi offers, in the sense you are the master of your path within Bocconi. Of course, when you get in, you have to attend your courses and succeed in them, but then you have so many different opportunities to leverage, but this is up to you to decide what you want to make of it. And so for some, they decide to study abroad, others go for internships. From my side, I had a project in Costa Rica for a summer. I also decided to be part of different associations, and so really getting involved into the Bocconi community, and as we mentioned before, networking as well. So this has been very, very helpful for me. And of course, I mean, one of the best perks that you could get from studying in Bocconi is being in Milan. And I think Dario would be very happy to hear that a French person is very happy to study in Italy, because we are a bit competitive between French and Italians, but it's been one of the best 3 years I've had. And I think all the students around me, we still really hold Milan dear into our hearts. I think last year, when we were not confined, we had a big Bocconi reunion between my friends, and we decided to go to Milan just because we were missing the environment. It's an international city with a lot of things happening, cultural events, as music events. There is myriads of things you can do. You'll never be bored there. Traveling from there as well is just amazing. So for all these different reasons, that's what pushed me to go to Italy and not choose another European city, country like England or France, where I'm from. And it's been a great experience. And with that diploma, it really helped me to get this international mindset, exposure, the tools that I need today of being flexible and adapt. And that's why I really recommend going to Bocconi, and we'll be very happy to have you in our alumni in a couple of years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. It was amazing. And let's say we have still a couple of minutes. As you have seen, we didn't talk anyhow about the admission part or the housing or the scholarships. Just to give you some ideas, these are pieces of information you will always find in our website as well as our contacts. I will show you the slide with the contacts you can rely on for the high school students or recent diploma holders, undergraduate.services@unibocconi.it. If you are completing a bachelor and you want to start your master, or if you have a brief work experience, let's say a couple of years, graduate.services@unibocconi.it. My tip, generally speaking, is really study a bit before applying to understand how Bocconi can help you. Talk, because I mean, you have seen 3 amazing stories, and one of the things I'm most proud about being a board member of the alumni community is that it's plenty of awesome people and incredible stories. As Dario was saying, yes, not all the minds are super top minds, but all the people are top people with something you can learn from. So anytime you go around the campus, both the old one, all of us were attending lectures in, and the new one we have recently launched, there is something you could take some tips and some information and learning something from your future. For instance, I have met the first time Dario in Munich. I remember Marien Plus raining, super strong hug at the very beginning, even if I didn't know him yet. But the sense of belongingness this university creates is amazing. And also, as Clement was saying, you can come from everywhere. You don't feel the burden of being a local from somewhere else. You will be, hopefully, a Bocconi student, and in 3-4 years' time, a Bocconi alumnus. And why not being some of the stories we want to share with prospectives again. So thank you very much, guys, for joining, and thank you for the audience to see the video. Any kind of question, reach us anytime. Have a good day.